Racing to the 2020 Belmont Stakes, let's take a look at the 2020 Belmont Stakes. Just after the post draw, a field of 10 has been lined up in the starting gate for this year's Belmont, which is going to kick off the Triple Crown, the unusual Triple Crown of 2020. The Belmont reduced to 9 furlongs, and that's going to be a key part of handicapping this race. A one turn, a mile and an eighth, and the speed of the speed, most likely Tapit to win, who set an impressive victory as the fourth favorite at 6-1 a couple of weeks back on June the 4th. He demolished a couple of nice horses in Mystic Guide and Country Grammar. Tapit to win looked like a winner every step of the way that day. Set some fast fractions. The track was a little bit fast. Picked up a big Beyer speed number and an impressive Brisnet speed figure number. Tapit to win looks like he's going to be the controlling speed at the rail. He should be able to establish position. From the looks of it, his recent gallop seems to have a lot of energy. It's a quick turnaround, but Tapit to win is definitely one you want to consider. His comeback race at Gulfstream Park was a nice win visually. And, you kind of just got to throw out those 2 stakes races last fall. He broke his maiden at Saratoga. That's always a positive sign and shows some class. Just, no real excuses. I mean, he had some minor excuses, did have a little bit of surgery over the winter. I think Tapit to win is the now horse. He's improving, and if anybody can upset the favorite in this race, I think the only one that can do it is probably Tapit to win. So Volante, a nice win last week in a prep race at Gulfstream Park, comes back on the quick turnaround. This is another one that'll appreciate a little bit of pace here. This is a nice looking horse. He runs this race every time. Now, he is stepping up a little bit in class, but he's got a classy female side of the pedigree. He seemed to enjoy the Gulfstream Park surface. He ran it well at Tampa Bay. Long term, is he going to be a great miler on the turf? I think that's what everybody thinks, but he's got a nice looking body, really seems to motor down the lane. And again, if he can just kind of stay with the field, if they back up at all, I think he could pick up some of the pieces. Sol Volante, 9-2 on the morning line. Max Player, very interesting. The key question with him, the long layoff. He hasn't run since the Withers. That was back in February, a very unusual 4-month layoff to come into a race like this. Linda Rice has been working him out long. I like the last couple of workouts. He seems to be getting better. I think this is a horse that'll get better with racing. And I think, if he doesn't win the Belmont Stakes, he could still be a key player in races like the Travers Stakes and possibly the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness this fall. Modernist, again, this is another lightly raced horse, but again, a long time ago, it seems like, since he won the Risen Star, his division of it. Was a little bit of an upset pick that day. Now, the track was favoring speed that day. He took advantage of it. The race flow favored the speed. Then disappointed a little bit in his last race, the Louisiana Derby. A good string of workouts. Worked out with Tacitus, an older horse, the last couple of times. Kind of an unusual workout pattern leading into this race. He had a few days off and then worked out on Sunday, getting ready for this race. A nice gallop out, 6 furlongs and 1:11 and change, but the workouts were fast that day. Modernist, another horse I like down the road. Still interesting to see if he's actually going to run in this race. They did enter him, and they're expected to run, but wouldn't surprise me if he was a late scratch. Farmington Road drew well. He's in the inside. I think he's going to come from off the pace. He's kind of closed in a couple of his races, kind of just got ran off the track the last time out at Oaklawn. Farmington Road, another one. Todd Pletcher does well in this race. Now, that's usually when it's a mile and a half. This year it's 9 furlongs, but he's got a nice speed figure progression, although his speed figures are a little bit lower than some of the top contenders like Tapit to win and even a horse like Tiz the Law and Dr. Post. 4 left. A surprise late entry. He was pointing to the Woody Stevens. They took a look at the field, saw that there was really only one other speed player in the race, and Tapit to win. I just think he's outclassed. He ran his last race in Dubai. Not a lot of competition over there. Grade 3 at best in that field, and I just don't think he has the raw speed as Tapit to win. I think Tapit to win is the speed. 4 left, 30-1 on the morning line. Jungle Runner is the long shot. Calumet Farm throws these horses into these races like this. Sometimes they'll run 2nd, 3rd, 4th. They're yet to really win one of these graded stakes races. They do win some races at long odds and come 2nd. I just think Jungle Runner a little bit overmatched in this type of spot. Doesn't really have the pace style, doesn't really have current form, and his current speed is just not fast enough with the top dogs in this race. Tiz the Law, the race favorite, 4 for 5 lifetime, 6 to 5 on the morning line. Big win in the Florida Derby. I guess the only question for Tiz the Law is, Where does he position himself off Tapit to win? He'll be outside of him. That's a good draw. He'll be inside Pneumatic, possibility of showing a little bit of speed or at least being forwardly placed. I think Tiz the Law sits second or third. I think he makes his move like he's done in all of his races. Kind of, again, just the long layoffs between races, but this year it's more by COVID-19 rather than design. He passed on the Breeders' Cup. He's been primed for this race, has continued to work out well, but he is a little light in the conditioning. He has to do it all off workouts, and his races are just getting so spaced apart. It'll be interesting to see what Tiz the Law can do. He's your 6-5 favorite. If you think he's the cinch, then I think you play a straight exacta over Tapit to win and Sol Volante. Otherwise, you try to beat him in some of those multi-league races or maybe even on the bottom half of an exacta. Then we got Dr. Post, an interesting race at Gulfstream the last time. Had a lot of trip note trouble. I think that's why he's 5-1 in the morning line. I think the morning line guy is factoring in that his trip notes from that last race is going to get him bet down. I think he'll be the fourth favorite. I think Tapit to win and Sol Volante will be right behind Tiz the Law in odds, but we'll see. And then Pneumatic ran a nice race in the Matt win. Problem was he had the inside draw that day, ran well, continued on with courage, but the fractions were slow. I think he's going to face more speed in this race. Again, another one, lightly raced, could improve down the road. So the Belmont Stakes, 1.125 miles, a one-turn mile. Key question for Tiz the Law. Can he stay close enough and get position and then hold off those closers? A long layoff since the Florida Derby. Tapit to win, the speed of the speed. That's my selection. I just think he's in form right now. Quick turnaround, seems to be holding his energy, and anything over 5-1 is a fair price on Tapit to win. They've got to get aggressive though. No monkeying around. You either go for it from the rail, you shoot the loop and try to run the 110 and run them off the feet. You're not going to come from off the pace. You're not going to be able to play games against Tiz the Law. You slow down the pace, Tiz the Law will gobble them up alive. And then meanwhile, Modernist, I think, is one to look for down the road, even a horse like Max Player. Sol Volante, I like a little bit, consider him a little bit. That's a look at the 2020 Belmont Stakes. Remember, share this video with all your horse racing friends. Hit subscribe as we lead you up to the 2020 Kentucky Derby. And like this video so we get more views. It's the 2020 Belmont Stakes.